I was looking at my portfolio from the last bear market. Oh, sorry, I'm muted on Discord. Unmute. I was looking at my portfolio from the last bear market. So we went from bull to bear, and I was just thinking this morning actually that there's like such a the pain is not even near what it was back then. I like legitimately saw my portfolio drop like 95%.
So
Because
did I.
yeah, because there weren't there weren't stable coins back then. I mean, there were, but it was basically like USDT. And there weren't any like real use cases for stable coins. So there was like no reason to just like be sitting on a pile of USDT unless you thought the market was just going to keep crashing. And after that initial like bubble burst of Bitcoin hitting 20K and then dropping, there was really like I think all of us were just kind of I have like I basically I keep like a daily notebook of like everything that's going on, my thoughts. I take a screenshot of my portfolio and throw it in there. So I was just looking at like this day. I'll give you the exact day actually. I was looking at this day and I was just looking at it and I was like, my thoughts on that day were just like everything was going to shit. I was basically losing everything. So this was January 14th, 2019. So that wasn't even the bottom. So there was still plenty more pain to be had. But on that day, I was just writing about how the, how bad the winter was. And I was like, it was like almost shocking to see your portfolio go down that much, because I've always kind of invested in the stock market, and I got started when I was in high school, so I was used to like playing with options and seeing my portfolio fluctuate a lot. But crypto is like a totally different experience, because like you just see a little bit of a winter and it tanks your portfolio 90-95%. That doesn't really happen in the stock market. So it was a wild time, but without that, my point is, that the fact that we have stable coins now, like, we've got HBD and, BUSD and USDT and USDC, and there's actual use cases for them. So there's a reason to hold them, because you can earn yield. So like right now I have a bunch of money sitting in pHBD, USDC and bHBD-BUSD in those two pools. And those are just a great way for me to just sit on stable coins and earn yield, like earning like 27% APY right now on the bHBD. So there's like, the fact that didn't exist before is a big reason why the portfolio, my portfolio saw such a big drop back then. Whereas now in this bear market, I've definitely seen a drop. It definitely hurts. The yields that I was earning aren't nearly as high. And then obviously the value of my portfolio has tanked, and naturally I hold a lot of my portfolio in Leo, Polycub, and Cub, and especially the Polycub part of that has really been hurting. So this bear market has definitely hit hard, but nothing like the last bear market. That was like a treacherous time to be in crypto, and that's why I feel like the people who've been around since that bear market, like you're saying, it's kind of, you feel the bear market, but it's nothing like what you've experienced before. So it kind of almost feels mild, even though you see a lot of other people like screaming that it's like bloody murder.
Yeah. No, I
interesting.
mean, I see that personally, even though I'll openly admit I think I did a shit job this time around, considering more so lack of organization and paying attention than anything. But yeah, like you said, back in like 2019, yeah, I was down, like my portfolio was down like 90% also. This time around, it's like 50%.
Right.
Even though there's cryptos that are, down more than that. So, and I mean, I honestly, I really did no selling, towards the top. It's just a difference, like you said. Now there were stable coins, and I had a good chunk, I had like a third of my portfolio just sitting in stable coins, staked, earning yield, because I'm like, sweet, I can now have different aspects of, like an actual portfolio now.
Right.
And the fact that I can earn yield sitting on stables gives me some diversification, at a risk. Well, as long as you weren't in UST. Otherwise, oops,
Yeah.
sorry.
I had my notorious trade. I was talking to one of the founders of this protocol called Orion, and I got into like the early seed launch of it. And the way it worked is that you staked stable coins on there. So you staked, you could stake actually any stable coin. So like I did USDC on Ethereum, but then on their back end, they converted it to UST and staked it on Anchor for 20% yield. And I ended up putting like 150,000 worth of stable coins in there. And then time went by, and I think I left it in there for about 6 months. And then sometime early this year, I pulled the majority of it out. Like I left like maybe 3,000 or 4,000 in there just because I wanted to leave something in, but not a lot. Just some small measurable amount. And then when the whole UST thing blew up, obviously this whole Orion protocol blew up, and all the deposits suddenly became like, I was watching like the 3,000 or 4,000 I left in there become like $300 or $400, and now I don't even think you can pull money out of it. So it's just crazy. I would have actually never really guessed that was going to happen, but I'm glad I pulled it. And I actually owe that to HBD, believe it or not, because when the HBD rate went to 20%, I saw it as like a really good potential to just move away from something that I don't understand as much, which is Luna UST, and move into something that I understand a lot more, which is HBD. So I have $150,000 extra that I can credibly say is thanks to HBD. And now I hold a lot more in HBD. I try to convert more stable coins into HBD on like a daily basis. It's super hard though. So, I end up getting a few hundred more HBD every single day, but it's very difficult to buy in size, which is why bHBD and pHBD have become such a big focus for me.